Alright, I've been pretty distracted these past few days. Today, I want to finally go ahead and just make a video commenting on some of the changes that we've seen in this last patch. There have been so many that have come out, so many things that the community's already complaining about, so many opinions that people have shouted. I want to go ahead and give you guys some of my own opinions on what I think of each of these major changes that we've seen. Now, the biggest update that has probably affected the largest majority of players, regardless of who you play or what lane you play them, is got to be the new HUD that we've seen. There have been a lot of complaints surrounding the new HUD, but I feel like honestly most of the complaints are just sort of centered around people not used to the new HUD and not used to the new placements of certain elements. Some of the complaints are quite valid, like it would be really nice if Riot did let us customize everything, or if they gave us some more customization options or something, but honestly, I'm not really that upset that we don't have them, since it's not like they took them away from us or anything, and honestly, I think it all looks really cool. It all looks really good if you ask me. If I had to give one complaint, it would probably be something surrounding the whole fact that it feels very visually cluttering almost at times. Like if you guys noticed when you level up abilities or when things come off of cooldown, there's this giant blue flash and everything. It's like a nice little animation, but in the end, it's also really distracting sometimes. Like before Blizzard killed it off, do you guys remember StarCraft 2 back in its heyday, back when it first came out? And it was a really popular esport, a popular game on Twitch, and just a popular game in general for competitive play. That was the time that I really played StarCraft 2 sort of competitively, quote-unquote, and followed the competitive scene very closely. And one thing that always intrigued me was the fact that pro players always played on the lowest graphical settings. Now, the reason that players gave for doing so was they didn't want any sort of visual clutter. They didn't want something popping up and distracting them from anything other than the core gameplay, which is why they said it was a pretty good idea to play at the lowest graphical settings. Honestly, if I had one complaint about the new HUD, it would be something similar. It feels like the graphical settings can be very visually distracting at times. That might be a good word to use. I feel like I'm gonna get crucified, honestly, for saying that I like the new HUD, because it feels like absolutely everybody out there has all sorts of bad things to say about it, but I think it just takes some getting used to. Honestly, it's pretty nice visual design, and it's something that I think I'm gonna enjoy. The next big update I want to talk to you guys about is the Gangplank rework that we saw come out, which honestly I think is a really, really cool looking rework. Maybe it's just because he's a top laner and I'm sort of starting to fanboy over the reworks that we've been seeing recently, like Gangplank and Fiora, since they're top laners, but I mean, I actually do think they look really, really nice. Gangplank specifically looks really interesting. I love the way that they're reworking some of the older cookie-cutter abilities. Like Gangplank's E was a very, very basic ability, to put it lightly. It was something that was pretty cool, and it's kind of sad to see it go for some of the Gangplank mains out there. You might be sad, but honestly, I think the new E is a really, really exciting thing that I can't wait to hopefully master in some games. Whenever Riot's reworked a champion recently, they've done a pretty good job of keeping the sort of essence of the champion, if that makes sense. Gangplank still feels very much like a piratey Gangplank, which I'm really, really happy to see. This is actually something I forgot about the HUD. You can't adjust the size of the surrender vote to be small, or the same with like the kills that pop up on the right side of the screen. That's something that's really bothersome. But anyway, when we're talking about the feel of a champion, I think that's just one thing that Riot's been doing really well, and that leads into the last topic that we're going to talk about, which is the whole Bilgewater update thing. Now, not everyone plays League of Legends for lore reasons, but the Bilgewater lore update, whatever you want to call it, lore event, is really, really cool, and it's really cool to see Riot sort of catering to some of the people that do enjoy lore. Lore is the kind of thing in League of Legends that not everybody is going to appreciate. Some people are always just going to play League of Legends for competitive reasons, or play League of Legends to get their rating up in solo queue, or to try out a new champion, or they won't care why it is that there's this spiky armadillo that hits things with his head. They're just going to play him because he's OP in certain metas or whatever. Honestly, it kind of bothers me sometimes when people just call me a Riot fanboy because I won't join in on the circle jerk hate that the rest of the community gives with certain updates, but I don't really care right now. I actually really like a lot of the updates that Riot has given us over this past patch, with the whole Bilgewater event, this new ARAM map is also really, really cool. There's a lot of stuff that's really cool that I'm quite excited to see if Riot's going to keep it up with future events and future things in the future. future things in the future. That can't be proper English. I'm having too much fun in ARAM here, boys. Anyway, you might call me a Riot fanboy, but you might agree with me. Whether you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below on what you guys think on certain updates here. Whether you agree or disagree with the HUD change, agree or disagree with any of the many things that we got this past patch, leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, though, I hope you guys all enjoyed watching today's video. I will, of course, be seeing you all tomorrow, but until then, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.